Okay, Joe Casey with Casey Aviation, and we're here with Daryl not one more time, we're going to do this a bunch more. But now we are
It's a long flight.
It's a long flight. There's a lot to talk about.
Yep.
We are literally over the middle of the Labrador Sea. Right in the middle of the Labrador Sea between Greenland and Goose Bay. But we were not earlier, and we'd had to make a diversion. Basically, we were flying from Iceland from Reykjavik to Narsarsuaq, and as we got within radio calls of Narsarsuaq, basically when we hit the 35th parallel or line of longitude, and that's about the time where you can start talking. The lady from Iceland radio came on and started telling us about the weather in Narsarsuaq, which was
not good. Was very iffy, and that's an airport. As you know, and many know, that a lot of people lost their lives there.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that you go in there on a clear VFR day.
Which they were forecasting a clear VFR day. Everything is supposed to be.
It's supposed to be perfect.
And we get there, and literally they were forecasting. They had at the time that we were coming in, 100 overcast, quarter-mile visibility, just blanketed in fog, and so it made the decision really easy for us.
Yes.
That we're not going there. We're going to divert it. So we ended up diverting.
And we diverted to BGSF.
Yep, Sonderstrom.
Which I learned on this trip continuously that when somebody says 2,000 scattered, get ready to shoot and approach. Because 2,000 scattered to them is not the same as 2,000 scattered in the States. 2,000 scattered means you're going to do an RNAV or an ILS approach. Yeah,
and you know, it's interesting because when we went into Sonderstrom, it was plenty good weather to land.
Yes.
We still shot an approach into there, and I would not call it great weather going into Sonderstrom. I mean, it was still cloudy, and it just wasn't as good as, all of Greenland was not as good as they forecast it to be.
Yes.
But Narsarsuaq is that stinking airport that I love. Narsarsuaq, love the history there. But I'm telling you right now, guys, that is an airport where things can change so rapidly, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
And they did today. So we diverted, and let me say this again, one of the reasons that we planned to go to Narsarsuaq today, but had I been in a jet prop or a Meridian going to Narsarsuaq today, we would have been in a jam. And the reason why is because we probably wouldn't have had the range to divert. And there'd be no reason to need a diversion in a Meridian or jet prop today because the weather was forecast to be fine. But when we got there, it wasn't. We're in this mighty PC-12, and this thing, we landed in, after going almost all the way to Narsarsuaq and then turning to Sonderstrom, or Kongerlussuaq, depending on how you say it. When we got there, we still landed with 150 gallons of fuel on board.
Yes, we did.
And so fabulous. I'm telling you, PC-12 just takes all that worry about range right out the window.
But I still want to say that if you're going to make the Atlantic crossing, bring somebody as experienced as Joe or John Mariani of many others that have done it, because there are always things popping up.
Always something popping up. With
the weather circumstance over here, they're not as accurate as we've seen in the United States. And so you need to have somebody else in the cockpit to talk it over with. Yeah. So it's good having you here.
I'm glad to be here. And we did talk it over, and it was good. And it was good for us to do that. So anyway, we diverted to Sonderstrom. So,
which was a cool place.
It is a cool place.
Beautiful. Icebergs were
What was
awesome.
your favorite part? Come on now.
My favorite part was the icebergs, the view from the plane going into there, and then I had some musk ox.
Musk ox, there you go.
Musk ox soup.
Yeah, musk ox soup,
which is pretty good.
Not bad, not bad. I've had musk ox before because I've been to Sonderstrom before, and I knew where it was, so I made sure to take them to it. But if you get to Sonderstrom, go get you some musk ox. There's no doubt about it. Because you ain't going to get that in the States. I can promise you right now. You ain't going to eat musk ox in the States.
So Joe, we're about 425 miles to Goose Bay.
Yeah.
We've been flying down for 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Yep.
It shows we got roughly 2 hours to go, and when we land, we'll have about 150 gallons of fuel, which is another 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's an amazing airplane. It literally has, at full power, at not that high, at 26,000 feet, it has 5.5 hours of range. And if we throttled back or went a little higher, it would go into 6.5, maybe even more range. Yeah, phenomenal airplane. We're at 26,000 just because we want to go fast today. because we've been flying a lot. But
I think I'm about 45 hours in on this trip in the cockpit.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yep.
That's good. All right, Joe Casey with Casey Aviation signing off.